These Travis Scott reverse Mochas are some of the worst I've ever seen, and they're not even that old. The owner must have worn these every single day. I mean, look at the sole separation and the toe drag. This reminds me of the restoration I did last year on the Travis Scott highs. This is gonna be a challenge. Everything's wrong with this shoe. We gotta give it a deep clean, inside and out, give it some brand new soles, repaint the entire leather, bring the suede back to life, and some other details. Let's get started. To get this restoration started, these shoes need a major deep clean inside and out, so they will be going in the washing machine. I gotta take out the laces and insoles to clean those up separately. I'm actually gonna leave the insoles inside. The whole thing is glued down. If I pull it out, it's gonna rip. It's better to leave it as is for now. Next, I'm gonna grab our shoe trees, adjust them to size, put them inside to help eliminate the creasing. We're almost prepped, ready to go to start using the solution and brushes, but first we're gonna go next door to use the compressor to blow off all the surface dust and debris from the inside of the shoe. Now we're ready to go. First, I'm gonna grab some solution, squirt 2 squirts inside our bowl of water. That's all you need. This stuff is highly concentrated. Then I'm gonna start with a soft bristle brush. I'm gonna hit the uppers and the insides, spend some time to break down the grime and the dirt. The soft bristle brush is best for delicate materials such as this suede. I'm gonna brush in a circular motion until I can get the stains out. Shoes look really good just by using a soft bristle brush. I went back and forth all around. Now I'm gonna move on to the medium bristle brush. Really, I'm just gonna use that brush to focus on the white leather, specifically on the stitching, to get it as white as possible. Cleaning is complete. You guys may have noticed I did not clean the midsoles or the outsoles. There's no point. I'm gonna replace those completely. The uppers are good to go. All that's left to do is to put them in the washing machine with our laundry bag. One thing I want to touch on is the shoelaces. These are supposed to be wax. They're white. It's gonna be really hard to get them back to its original state. So I'm gonna put them inside a fresh clean bowl of water with some solution. I'm honestly gonna let them sit inside for a good 2 to 3 days. Once it's ready, I'm gonna take them out, give them a good scrub, put them in the washing machine. Hopefully that does the trick. Got the shoes out of the washing machine. These look great, a lot better than what we started with. No issues at all with the shoe. The suede is pretty faded, but it was like that before I even put them in the washing machine. The good thing about the suede is that it doesn't bleed anywhere else onto the shoe. The shoes are fully dried. I put them under the sun for a couple hours. They're good to go. These shoes still need a lot of work though. Let's start by removing these outsoles. To do this process correctly, I gotta start off by removing all the stitching using a sewing off first. Stitching is fully off, now on to the hard part. It's not really hard, but it's gonna be very time consuming. We gotta get this sole off. There's a ton of separation going on both shoes in the front area, but the rest of the sole is on there pretty good. To get this off, we're gonna be using a heat gun, some tape, and a flathead. I'm gonna tape off the upper, then with the heat gun, I'm gonna heat up the flathead till it gets really hot. Then I'm gonna slide it in and pry off the sole. Time consuming, but it's pretty straightforward. This took some time. Each shoe took about 45 minutes to get the old soles off. Those old soles are trash. We don't need them anymore. Earlier when I was cleaning up these shoes, I was trying to remove the insole to give it a good clean. However, it was stuck in there good. The trick to removing it is by applying heat on the inside and the bottom. You don't want to apply too much heat because it can melt or shrink the insole, and you want to break this down into sections. I'm going to start with the back and slowly work my way up. Insoles are out, so much easier with heat. The right one is trashed. Not only was there a lot of damage on the toe area of the outsole, but on the insole as well. This guy's right toe went straight through the insole. For now, we're gonna give the uppers a break and move on to the donors. We gotta take the shoe apart. I am gonna be using these green oxidized Jordan 1s women's release that just came out. It's an awesome shoe. I love the shade of green. My favorite part though is the outsoles. That's why we're gonna be using these outsoles for this project. It's actually pretty hard to find replacement soles to Travis Scott sneakers, mainly because they use shades of browns that are unique to his shoes. They don't make other sneakers with those browns. And plus, I don't want to spend too much money on donor sneakers. So the owner gave me creative freedom to pick any color I wanted. These just came out, so I got lucky. It's a nice gum color sole. I figured it'd go nicely with the colorway on these shoes. Plus, it's already aged. Hopefully, once we put it together, it looks clean. First things first, I got to take the shoe apart. For this project, I only need the outsoles, but there is some good stuff for the boneyard, such as these tongues, laces, insoles, swooshes, and this back tab. A nice addition to my collection. Got all the good parts stripped off the uppers. Next is to remove the uppers from the midsoles. We're gonna go outside, pour some acetone inside the sneakers, let it sit for a couple of minutes, then we'll bring it back inside, then with the steamer, melt the glue. We're making some good progress. We got the donor soles ready to go. Later on, I'll prep them. Let's get back to the uppers. Before I can even think about applying new glue to the shoes, I gotta remove all the old glue. For this, I'm gonna be using a blade. I'm gonna shave off all the old glue on both shoes all around. Gotta take my time to not ruin the uppers, and the key to this is to keeping the blade sharp. Skiving is complete. This is some thick leather. It took me 15 blades to get it to this point. To finish this step, I still have to roughen up the material, so I'm gonna go in with the Dremel to roughen it up. Prepping the uppers is good to go. I did the second one off camera. Now we still need to prep the soles. Gotta remove all the old glue using a Dremel. I removed the old bit and replaced it with a metal drill bit. This is useful when removing the glue off a rubber outsole so I don't cause any damage. While we're at it, let's do some more prep. These uppers need a ton of work, especially the leather. There's a lot of rough areas from deep scratches, especially in the toe box area. I'm gonna be using some sandpaper to sand all that stuff down. To start, I'm gonna be using 400 grit sandpaper to loosen up those rough areas. Then I'll finish it out with 800 grit to get it nice and smooth. I don't wanna sand on the stitching on the shoe because that'll fray it and make it look bad. To finish the prep on the uppers, I'm gonna give it one final wipe down using acetone and cotton balls. Almost done with the prep work. Uppers are good to go. Now before I put the acetone away, I'm gonna go ahead, heat up the lasting boards with a heat gun, scrub off all the old glue, and then for the soles, give it one final wipe down. That was a lot of work when it came to prep work, but in order to have a good glue job that's gonna hold for years to come, you gotta do all those steps. Next is to lay down some glue. I'm gonna lay down an even coat on the soles and the uppers, let it sit for a couple hours, and then we'll stick it together. Time to bond. Glue is fully cured. To activate it, we're gonna be applying a little bit of heat to get it nice and tacky. I'm gonna start with the toe, jump to the back, and then do the sides. I got some tape on the toe box and the back, same thing with the sole to make sure alignment's on point. Let's heat it up. Glue job is fully complete. I let it dry over the weekend. Let's give it a good stress test. All right, that's on there good. No issues with that. Last step to complete this process, we gotta reapply the stitching with some white thread, sewing gauze, and we need 2 pieces of thread, one for the inside and one for the outside. Restoration is looking good so far. Let's get back to the suede. On the suede, there is a couple of marks that didn't come off during the cleaning process. I'm gonna try to use some sandpaper to remove those areas. Hopefully it comes off. I'm gonna start off with 400 and then move on to 800. That step made a world of a difference. Those deep stains that was on the toe box, completely gone, and the suede is back to buttery soft. Last step in this restoration is the paint job. First, I gotta tape off everything but the white so we can lay down some paint. That was fast, psych. That only took about 2.5 hours. Now I'm gonna print out some vinyl so I can cover up the Wings logo and the Cactus Jack logo. We don't wanna get any paint on the red embroidery. I'm gonna set up the machine to print that out. Got the vinyl covering up the logos, everything's taped up, we're ready to go. The color on the leather isn't white, it's more of a creamy off-white tone. To create that mix, it was pretty simple. I got white with about 3 or 4 drops of brown to create the perfect off-white tone. Now I'm gonna lay it down with the airbrush. Paint job looks great so far. We covered up all the old scuffs. At the moment, it looks good, but it doesn't feel as good as it should be. It needs to be buttery smooth. To get that effect, we're gonna be using some 1200 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna go over the entire paint job to remove any imperfections. After that, I'll finish it off with 1 or 2 more coats of paint to wrap it up. Paint job looks good, it's nice and solid. To finish this up, we gotta go outside and spray some matte finish to lock in the paint job. Let's take care of some details. On both of the shoes, the Cactus Jack logo, some of the paint is faded off, specifically on the top area. Those 2 lines on this shoe we gotta touch up, and I think on this shoe it's just one of them. Angela's Autumn Red seems like the perfect match. I'm gonna lace them down. If it's off, I'll use a different color. Autumn Red was a match. Next, we're gonna grab some ink oil and our horsehair brush. I'm gonna spray a couple of coats, brush it in, and repeat the process until it looks good. I'm done with the shoes. It's a complete 180 from where we started. Next and final step is the shoelaces. There's still a couple steps I need to do before I can lace it up. I'm gonna use the iron to get them nice and flat. Afterwards, I'm gonna use some paraffin wax to re-wax these laces. That's how they originally were. With the wax and the iron, I'm hoping to get them back to as original as possible. Laces on both sides are covered with wax. Now I'm gonna use the iron to melt the wax. I'm gonna place the lace in between some parchment paper so the wax doesn't get on the mat or the iron. Alright guys, after 3 solid days worth of work on these reverse mochas, we're done with this restoration. Off the rip, the shoe has Jumpman Jack vibes. Check it out side by side. The gum sole really sets it off. The cream brown uppers with the red accents on both shoes make these shoes really similar. To get it to this point though, took a lot of work. Most of it was a lot of prep work. To do a good glue job, it's all in the prep. Same thing with the paint on the uppers. On the suede, we had some crazy marks, but with a little sandpaper, we got that all off. The shoe overall just looks a million times better. The shape is back. We got some brand new soles. Inside and out, it's fully clean thanks to our Rejuvenator products that you can find at rejuvenator.com. I'm really happy with this restoration. It's one of those things where I kind of forgot what they looked like before, but it's definitely a day and night restoration. Drop a comment down below on what you think about the gum color sole. Was this the right choice, or what would you have gone with? Also, don't forget we're in the middle of our September giveaway, and we're giving away some Nigel Sylvester 4s. To enter, it's super easy. You just gotta comment down below your Instagram name with the size you would pick. We're gonna pick the winner at the end of the month. Good luck everyone, and thanks for watching. This is Vick Almighty. I'll catch you guys on Monday. See you guys.